In the tour of the canal house so far, I've taken you from the front door all the way up to the attic and down again to the basement antique shop. In this episode, I'll show you the last space in the house, the kitchen. The kitchen is situated in the basement at the rear of the house, facing the garden. It can be reached through the basement door to the antique shop or via the staircase of the main floor hallway. Let's take the stairs this time. Ooh, mind the chain! I just step over it normally because I'm used to it. But let's remove the chain so you don't fall down the last few steps during your visit. So here's the antique shop in the basement of the canal house. And this is where the last episode ended. From the antique shop you can walk straight into the kitchen. Please join me for some lunch or a cup of tea or coffee. The kettle is already brewing. I started working on the kitchen in 2008. At first I made large floor-to-ceiling windows and doors, but I soon realized that meant I lost an entire wall, meaning I could not put any countertops, kitchen furniture, or in this case a fridge against that wall. I am getting ahead of myself though, because before I changed the wall of windows, I started on the other side of the kitchen and made tiled walls with an arched alcove and window, kitchen cabinets and a wonderful wooden sink and countertop. And these were all based on this photo of the fantastic kitchen in Castle Twickel in the Netherlands. I've used many of the features of the castle kitchen, like the tiles, the exposed pipes, the copper pots, the window and of course the sink. Ah, my poor kitchen gloves. I've told the story of the yellow rubber gloves many times, and each time the state of the gloves is a little bit worse. When I bought these, they were the most perfect miniature rubber gloves. Thin, hollow, flexible, exactly like the real thing, perfectly to scale. But 2 visiting little girls, hungry mice, and finally time itself were too much for them. Now there's just 2 strips of yellow rubber by the sink and a few sad separated fingers in a drawer. Alas. I love my old worn sink and countertops. I made them from a large piece of cherry wood. The kitchen taps are 3D printed and designed by Lind Blomska. Underneath the sink, some of the cleaning products and a beautiful Philippe Bordelais bucket are kept. The deep sink is great for washing dishes. And standing by the sink, there's a perfect view into the antique shop, so you can keep an eye on the door while doing the dishes. The little brown vase is by Elisabeth Coseret, and the dried hydrangea in the other vase was made by me after one in my garden, which really has those amazingly rich, deep colors. The vase and the little soap dish were painted by me and are part of a much larger set, all hand painted by me and kiln fired in glasses by our own miniature china painting expert Kokkie Wildschut. This beautiful silver and porcelain tray was made as a collaboration between Jens Torp and Terry Curran. It was one of the first miniatures I ever bought. I love the little blue and white Dutch scene, and it fits so well with my tea and dinner service. Even though it's not painted to perfection, I did get better over the years. I really like all of my blue and white porcelain, especially the pieces on this shelf with the chicken tureen, the egg cups and the tea and coffee pot. I think the white pieces I used for painting this set came from Avon Miniatures. The sign on the wall says "De koffie staat klaar," which means the coffee is ready, which is a very Dutch way of inviting someone for some coffee and a chat. The sign came in the mail years ago as an advertising gimmick from the leading Dutch coffee brand Douwe Egberts. Most Dutch people will know this brand, and they will also know this, a coffee grinder. My grandmother had one of these in her kitchen, as did many other Dutch households. The coffee beans go in on the top, then turn the handle and the ground beans will end up in the little glass container below. On the walls by the sink is my small collection of copper pots. Most of these were made by Philippe Bordelais and some by Paul Brownhill of Country Treasures. I cannot remember where I got the jelly molds from or who made them. All of the wonderful wine and oil and vinegar bottles were made by Hanneke of Mini Mini. The set of 3 copper saucepans is by Philippe Bordelais. I am so glad I was able to buy such lovely copper from wonderful makers like Philippe Bordelais and Paul Brownhill. The kettle is always brewing on the wonderful Aga cooker, which looks just like its full-sized counterpart. Hang on, why is the oven door open? That meat looks perfectly cooked. Let me take that out of there. Next to the Aga, I made a large kitchen work table to house the many kitchen miniatures I have collected over the years. I made the countertops from the same cherry wood as the sink. The collection of kitchen utensils was a gift I won in an online giveaway. The stoneware salt cellar and the blue oil and vinegar set are by Elisabeth Cozeret. In fact, all of the blue ceramics on this work table are by her. The colorful plates against the wall are actually fèves to be baked into a 3 kings cake, but they are perfectly 12 scale. I bought them on holiday in Brittany some years ago. The delightful little hair tureen was made by Dominique Levy. It is so precious. And now that I've got the table out of the way, I can show you the floor tiles a little bit better. I made them the same way as my wall tiles, from painted Bristol paper. More blue ceramics here, and 2 splendid enameled pudding or jelly molds by Anita Degen. The plate on the cooker hood is by Kokkie Wildschut, and the hanging cabinet was found by me in a wastebasket during a class by Mark Murphy. I was amazed Mark threw it away because I think the legs were 1 millimeter too short or something like that. But the cabinet is perfect. And Mark let me keep the cabinet, and it has since been hanging on the wall in my kitchen, filled with wonderful tureens by Janice Crawley and Veronique Cornish. On the shelf are more wonderful kitchen items. The red Le Creuset Dutch oven is actually a fridge magnet, but it looks very convincing. I made the fridge many years ago using a tutorial in a Dutch doll's house magazine. Now, why is the door of the fridge wide open? How very wasteful! Oh wait, let me show you the inside of the fridge. What, no vegetables? Ah yes, they're being prepared for dinner. On top of the fridge, some more of my Coseret collection of blue ceramics. The tiny ones are half scale or 48 scale, but work very well here too. And then there's the superb copper watering can, again by Philippe Bordelais. I love the shape and the spotty shine from the hammered surface. I think this is my favorite copper piece in my collection. Next to the fridge is a butcher's block I made. I cannot remember who made the delicious looking ham or the chopping knives. The silver carving set was made by Else Keuker. A little side table is being used as a cheese station for lunch and dinner. The delectable cheese board was a gift from Hanna Lintroth from her online giveaway in 2011. The kitchen table was made by me, and Kim Selwood made the kitchen chairs for me. I love these chairs. They are the Glissett leatherback chairs, designed by Ernest Gimson. Although they are arts and crafts chairs, they closely resemble the typical kitchen chairs which could be found in Dutch kitchens for centuries, and therefore fit in very well here. The table is set for a simple lunch and has some typically Dutch food on there, like breakfast cake, crisp bread, and the delicious chocolate sprinkles. The slices of bread with chocolate sprinkles were made by Debbie from Australia, and she gave them to me when she visited in 2011. Oh, I've been so spoiled with gifts over the years. The delightful birdcage was yet another gift, made and given to me by Lisette. Now, why don't you have a cup of tea and sit in the garden while I start preparing dinner?